what I want to teach you today is about the 4 pillars that we have in the Baird method so that your content is impactful, that it's making a difference, that it's making the impact. Because I want every single person here to make an unheard of amount of money, and not so that you can buy Lambos and take selfies on the hood of it, but so that you can be the person that you're meant to be and change the people's lives that you're meant to change and make that impact and make that profit so that you can then go in and reinvest it. Because when you make the impact with the idea of profit, you're then able to reinvest it, make more impact, which then in a cyclical motion, what happens? More and more and more. Be that person, change those lives. So I want to teach you about the 4 pillars of the Baird method. So the first pillar is exactly what I've been saying. I may repeat myself a few times, but it's really important, and I really want you to get this, is that every single piece of content is impact driven and profit focused. So every time I film something, and I say this a lot, before I even turn on the camera, I know exactly who I'm speaking to, how I want them to feel, and what's the end result of that. So if I'm sharing a story about whatever it is that I want to inspire them with, motivate them with, whatever value I want to provide, what's the end result? How are they going to feel? But also, what action are they going to take? Are they going to leave this changed, inspired to go back into their business, back into their family, or they're going to have that golden nugget that they needed to implement whatever the solution was that they were looking for and came to my video to find? So every single video, I know that I'm scripting it to change something in their beliefs, so that if they came to me thinking, I can't do this, show them the way instead of telling them exactly how. And I'm going to give you an example in just a second. So every time you create a video, before you even start it, you know, here's how I want them to feel, and here's the call to action that I'm going to give them, so that not only am I giving them more value, I'm also getting them onto my email list, into my Facebook group. I'm able to pixel them with my Facebook ads so that I can continue to nurture them and give them the value that they need. Because here's the thing, there's a lot of people that will come to me and say, I know that I want to make this impact, but I'm afraid, or I'm scared to do this, or I don't know how. And a lot of those things are just excuses. And the reason why I want you to let go of that excuse is because you and I both know that the fact that you're here and you're investing in this and you're spending this time with me on what day is it, Wednesday evening, is that you have a level of integrity that those flash in the pan influencers do not. And if you don't make this effort to show up in the way that your audience needs you to, is they're going to go to that competitor who doesn't have the same level of integrity and might rip them off and might not give them the same value that you can. So the longer you take to actually step out there is actually selfish. So that's pillar 1, impact driven, profit focused. Pillar 2 is messaging for your movement. So dialing in your messaging in a way that strongly, deeply impacts people. And so the way that we script every single video is with NLP, thought reversal, and sleight of mouth. So this is a way that we are hooking our audience in, giving them those psychological hooks and showing them instead of telling them. Because what happens when, this has happened to all of us as children, when our mom said, don't touch the stove, it's hot. Even if she said it a million times, you had to try it yourself, and then you learned because it was experiential, right? So we script our videos in a way that we're showing them instead of just telling them. And I want to give you an example of exactly how we do this. So here's the before. I could say, listen, you've gained weight and it's not attractive or healthy for you to keep on eating donuts for breakfast. So stop eating donuts. And here's the after. The crash you feel, the unstable energy and brain fog that comes when you choose to force the enemy of your progress into your body for breakfast, the processed sugar, the chemical-laced fat, and starch shaped into a simple tire or round ball. That's your body begging you to own who you're meant to be, to free yourself from the bondage you feel in your very own body. A cry to be able to fuel your body and spirit, to run for the fun of it, to move freely and embrace every inch of you from head to toe. Each morning, the choice is yours. Life in abundant health and joy, or the enemy of your progress. So that's an example. Which one do you think that they're going to go for? Do you think that the don't eat donuts or number 2? Okay, I think it's number 2 as well. So what I just did there is, instead of dragging the audience kicking and screaming to the water and forcing them to drink, I'm showing them the path and awakening their thirst. I can't teach all of that within this lesson, but NLP, thought reversal, sleight of mouth, those are the ways that you want to script your videos so that you are awakening their thirst, showing them the way, getting it to really sink in. So instead of telling them, you're showing them the benefits, the consequences in a way that really shifts their beliefs. Pillar 3, omnipresent traffic and conversion. So most people will think that, okay, video, is it just for one platform? Like, am I supposed to just do video here? What I want to show you is, instead of what I used to do, which was one video in one day and posting it to the one platform, what we do is we batch film 6 months of content in 3 days. I know it sounds like a lot. And then we post it to all of our platforms, that we take the one YouTube version, we start with YouTube as our foundation, and repurpose it into multiple pieces of content. Because if I have a 5-minute YouTube video, I can repurpose that into multiple standalone 30 to 60 second little mini clips, and then put that on Facebook, on Instagram, on my Instagram stories, on my IGTV, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest, on Twitter. Did I say that already? On all the platforms, all driving to the same call to action, or driving them to watch the full video on YouTube, which is what one of my favorite things to drive people to, is because we want that traffic on YouTube, because the more people that watch your video on YouTube, the more that YouTube sees that this video has authority and is going to boost its rankings, which is what's going to deliver that longevity over time, is because when you use it as the search engine that it is, and when your content is ranking, people are able to find it all the time, even years later. When you're able to repurpose this content and post it on the other platforms in different versions, in different little mini clips, that's when you start getting the reactions from your audience saying, I see you everywhere. And isn't that what you want to hear all the time? Like, a lot of people say, I wish I could be like Gary Vee. Like, I just need to hire a videographer and a video editor just follow me around all the time. But again, the problem with that becomes there's no strategy to it. A videographer and a video editor are just two pieces of the puzzle, because you don't have the strategy. A lot of the times the videographer is just focused on getting the right shot. They don't understand the marketing component behind it, the messaging component, the YouTube SEO, the advertising. And so when you have a videographer following you around, what's the strategy? Just hoping that you happen to say something profound that we can turn into a video clip? We need to have the scripting with the NLP, repurpose it for all other social media platforms, and posting it everywhere. And this is what brings me to the 4th pillar, is your videos on autopilot. So just because you could do video marketing yourself doesn't mean that you should do video marketing yourself. You're a visionary entrepreneur. You are leading a movement. But how can you lead and build your movement if you're the one doing the video editing, the scripting, the copywriting, the posting to social media, running the Facebook ads? You need to be the face of your movement, meaning you just need to be in front of the camera. And the way that we do it, 3 days every 6 months, and then you put it into a system where you have editors that already know the templates and how to repurpose it into all the different versions and platforms you need, the social media manager to post it all for you, so that you can, like I said, be in the business and on the business, instead of being the only person doing it all. So when you have the system and you have the people on your team that you can build this with, instead of you doing it yourself, that's how you are going to have that effect. Like, everyone wants to be like Gary Vee and people saying, I see you everywhere. But the benefit is that you're not doing it all alone by yourself.